Let's get your updates now as far as the hijab hearing in the top court is concerned. This is what the Supreme Court so far has observed. The Supreme Court has said a problem here is one particular community insisting on wearing something. All other communities are following the dress code. The Supreme Court also said nose ring is not part of any religion and that no other country has diversity like India. Justice Gupta also said as far as one of the arguments on rudraksha is concerned, Mr. Kamath said rudraksha. Many students wear rudraksha, to which Justice Gupta said that is worn inside the shirt. Nobody is going to lift the shirt and see if someone is wearing the rudraksha. Let's go across to Nilashish. Nilashish, in the last hearing as well, the top court said, can people wear whatever they want to? Can you tomorrow allow girls to wear skirts and middies to school? That's what the court had said in the last hearing and observation, basically. Now the court again in its observation says that the problem is that only one particular community is talking about or insisting on wearing something while all the other communities are following the dress code.
Well, yes, absolutely. The Supreme Court bench continues to hear this matter, and as far as Devdutt Kamath is concerned, who's appearing for the lead petitioner in this case, he has been saying that I have been wearing a uniform throughout, but I also wear a hijab with it. That is a freedom of choice, freedom of religious expression as well. However, the Supreme Court has been addressing the issue, and as you pointed out, there have been several observations in the last 1.5 odd hours since the court has been hearing this matter. It has said that the problem is one particular community is insisting on wearing the hijab. It is not like any other community is saying anything. They are following the dress code. That is not an issue for them. In fact, Devdutt Kamath had raised issues with regard to this particular matter and spoken about the courts in South Africa and the United States. Now, what the court has said is forget South Africa, come to India. No other community has diversity the way India does. And as far as India is concerned, no other country has this kind of universal law for all citizens. The way India does, that is something that we're looking into. The Constitution talks about secularism, is what the Supreme Court has also said. So they are asking, as far as the dress code is concerned, what is really the issue in following a dress code? Devdutt Kamath, senior advocate, is talking about the Bijo Emmanuel judgment, wherein they had addressed certain issues with regard to religion, but the court is asking questions with regard to a dress code and saying that why is it a problem as far as one community is concerned to adhere to a dress code when no other community, in fact, is saying anything else. As far as the rudraksha is concerned, the question was raised after the Supreme Court asked. So Devdutt Kamath said that people wear rudrakshas, people wear crosses when they come from the Christian community. They wear that with their particular uniform. But the Supreme Court says that is a different issue because that's worn under the shirt. People are not going to lift shirts and say that this is an issue. So the Supreme Court really asking in terms of adherence to dress code with respect to religion. And Devdutt Kamath, of course, is arguing for the petitioner, saying that I have always been wearing a hijab. It is something that has come to light recently, and therefore it is not really something that is beyond the scope of my religious freedom practices, and I have a right to do that. So, of course, the Supreme Court taking note of these submissions, but asking very, very pertinent questions and making some very relevant observations, oral observations.
We also have our legal editor Harish joining us in the broadcast. I believe at some point there was also an argument about the government order, Harish, wherein the court pointed out that the reading of the government order perhaps is not correct because it is only one community which wants to come in the religious dress.
Yes, that's right. Justice Hemant Gupta told Devdutt Kamath, Supreme Court said that the problem here is what we are observing is that one particular community is insisting on a headscarf while all other communities are following the dress code. Students of other communities are not saying we want to wear this and that. And then Kamath said that there is rudraksha. Many students are wearing rudraksha. And then Justice Hemant Gupta shot back saying this is worn inside the shirt. Nobody is going to lift the shirt and see if somebody is wearing a rudraksha. So interesting arguments going on in Supreme Court, which is hearing a batch of 23 petitions filed by students. So remarks were triggered when senior advocate Devdutt Kamath, who appeared for one of the petitioners, cited a South African judgment which allowed wearing of nose ring in classes. He was trying to drive home the point that similarly hijab should also be allowed in classes. When Kamath said South African judgment was related to the claim of a Hindu girl from South India to wear a nose ring, the school did not permit. Schools said it would lead to parade of horrible. Justice Dhulia said, but nose ring is not part of religion. Then Justice Hemant Gupta joined issue and said, like earring and bindi, nose ring is also not part of religion. Justice Gupta then went on to say, I do not think no other country has such much diversity like our country. All other countries have a uniform law for its citizens. No country has this kind of universal law for all citizens like ours. So when Devdutt Kamath went on citing judgments from South Africa, US, Australia and France, Justice Gupta said, now forget about the foreign countries and please come back to India. Kamath then went on to say that I cite this judgment as to how this case is encapsulated in our jurisprudence.
Absolutely. You know, the entire focus... Okay, go ahead, Harish. Finish your point.
Yes. Meanwhile, they said that hear this particular matter because at present 3 judges was hearing it. Devdutt Kamath said that this matter involves Article 145(3). So 5 judges must hear. Issue is not simply violation, but the state in its public accommodation. So as per Article 145(3), says that and a substantive question of law has to be...
Okay. I believe Devdutt Kamath is also saying that there can be a reasonable restriction, no doubt, but he says that, the students are not saying they won't wear the uniform. They, in fact, said they'll be wearing the uniform with the headscarf. So he's saying the question is whether the additional dress as part of Article 19, can it be restricted? Harish.
Yes, Devdutt Kamath said that that the hijab is a symbol of moral faith. And just because if a student insists on wearing a hijab and these students are not allowed inside classes, so it is again the violation of right, not only right to religion and right to and also a violation of right to...
Harish and Nilashish, thank you very much for getting us the details. We're moving on now. We have some breaking inputs coming in.